So it's Christmas, just like every year. But I sure as hell did make a Christmas special last time. And that's because this time last year I was nowhere near posting any sort of content on the internet, much less on YouTube, so it's a pretty different Christmas for me anyway. Man, I still have a hard time believing that all of this had happened, that I have people actually watching my videos, appreciating my channel, and looking forward to when I post. So I've decided to dedicate this video to just talking about some things, addressing some of your questions and discussing some of the plans for next year and the future of this channel in general. I'll be showing some Christmas footage I've shot over the days as well as a montage of my earliest videos, sort of thrown in linear order. And I don't think it's very likely that many of you were around when I started posting like actual content. I mean, I've been on YouTube longer than some of you are even alive, probably. I've made this account in 2008, but I've been watching YouTube since probably 2006. And people had questions about that, like, did I post any videos prior to this year? And the funny thing is, just recently, like 4 months ago, I've actually removed some of my earliest videos I made when I was in school. And hopefully none of you saw them because they were pretty cringe. But apart from that, I've never attempted to make like YouTube videos. But the first examples of something resembling the content I do today actually started appearing around March or April this year, and these were like short silent videos I made to show my friends in our local retro gaming community because I wanted to share some stuff with them. So I shared the videos in like our WhatsApp group, but then I thought, meh, since I already have this video, I guess I can put it up on YouTube. And yeah, as expected, they got no views, and they were just a different type of content when compared to what's trending now. They were inspired by the type of videos I remember seeing and enjoying when I was younger on the old YouTube, but that doesn't really fly anymore. I've also tried converting some of these videos into shorts, which is why I have like two versions of them. And yeah, I really felt like shorts were the way to go if you want to get views with, modern YouTube audience, since everything has gone by the way of TikTok. But for me, those videos just haven't been getting any real views, and I'm sure that's because, again, the type of shorts I've been making is very outdated, very poorly edited, and overall didn't do too good with the audience. But then around 6 months ago, I got this old moldy MacBook covered in stickers with a messed up screen. I wanted to do a video on it, just cleaning it up, seeing if it works, and installing an operating system on it. But as I went along, I've realized that it probably wouldn't all fit in a shorts format, but I made it anyway, and I've also decided to just experiment and to redo the video in a longer format with some bits of voiceover mixed in, as well as my in-video commentary. And while that video also failed to get any views, I've noticed that it got quite a bit more engagement. People were commenting more, asking questions, giving their opinions. And that's the thing with YouTube Shorts and freaking TikTok. People just aimlessly scroll through those videos for the most part just to kill time, and they don't really care about what pops up. They sometimes don't even have any opinion of it. It's just one in billions of stupid 1-minute videos to waste time on. Whereas this video was watched by someone who's probably into computers, possibly older Macs, and they enjoy engaging with other people who share their interests and opinions. And I like that. It felt really satisfying, so I've decided at that point that I wouldn't do shorts and that I tried making some more long format videos. So I did. I made the ThinkPad video, which got like 3,000 views in a couple of days, which was really a lot for me, and it was a great motivator to do these videos with some greater consistency. So I kept making them, and soon I've realized that videos really are a hit or miss, and I really started to appreciate this whole algorithm thing. I mean, some videos got no views at all, despite the fact that I worked hard on them, and then others seemingly at random got tons of views. My first banger was this video on a $10 MacBook, and I remember shooting the footage, but then I went away for my vacation, and because I had some spare time, I just decided to edit it while I was there. And since I forgot to make a thumbnail for it back home, I just made like a composite image with some funny details added on, and it just kept getting views. And unlike some of my later videos, this one got like nothing but just sweet positive comments. I've never seen anything like it because the internet can be, quite cruel. So that gave me such motivation. And unfortunately, having an eye-catching and in some cases just plain clickbaity title and thumbnail is very important as far as views go. And that's just the sad truth. But if you depend on people clicking on your videos, like if that's what you do in life, then yeah, you have to lure the viewer in. But hopefully my thumbnails aren't like that disgusting. So that was all around 4 months ago, somewhere in August, and I've started putting out videos on a regular basis. And around 2 months ago, I've hit a 1,000 subscriber mark, and I've reached the 4,000 view hours, which is a requirement for applying for YouTube partnership program, which I was approved for. And I flat out said to myself before, like, if I reach 1K sub mark by the end of the year, that would be freaking amazing. But then it happened after just a couple of months. So whenever I would have a video do good, I thought to myself, all right, if I reach 5K by the end of the year, now that would be like unbelievable. But now we're at the end of the year and we're sitting on around 10K. And now I'm at the point where I'm producing 2 videos a week and I'm taking this very seriously and I'm trying very hard to keep it going for as long as I can. And I just wanted to make a little video thanking all of you for watching. I mean, out of all the freaking videos and channels that are probably produced way better, you've decided to support and watch me, which is just incredible to me. And I also wanted to do a video answering some of the questions you had about me and this channel and my plans, so I figured this was as good a time as any to do that. Some questions come from the comments underneath the post I made recently, some of them are from other comment sections and from other videos I've made, so in no particular order, here are some questions you guys had for me. CCubing wants to know, do I have a job? And yeah, lots of people wanted to know what I do for a living. Ever since I've started making these videos more frequently, some people thought I don't have a job and I just have too much free time on my hands. But no, I do have a job and I've made no changes as far as my work schedule goes. In fact, these last few months have been quite busy as far as my day job is concerned. So fitting these videos in has been, well, kinda chaotic to be honest. But the reason I was able to do so is because, well, I don't really work a 9 to 5 job since I am a teacher. So I have classes every day, but I'm usually not doing them 8 hours a day. And I have a lot of online classes, so I'm able to work from home. I teach at a foreign language school. It's a private school, and I teach Croatian, which is my first language, and Russian. Apart from that, I also work in like tourism. I do, or at least I did, tours in English and Russian, and I also do a bit of translating and so on. And this ties in neatly with questions people had about languages because they could see in some of my videos like sites in Croatian and then also Russian, and they were confused about that. So yeah, I do speak Russian. You might have even heard me say a few things in my videos, and it's sort of my second language. Thrifty wanted to know about my username, like what does it mean and why have I chosen it for my channel. While I haven't really chosen it, it's just been my online handle ever since I've gotten on the internet, like I guess since 2004, 2005. I think every forum I've signed up to, I've used that username or something similar, and it's kind of hard to explain, but it actually derives from Schwabo, which where I'm from is like a slang word for a German person. And when I was little, like still in elementary school, I used to learn German and I sucked at it. To this point, I can't speak proper German and it sucks, but that's beside the point. Apart from that, I had this winter hat when I was a kid, and another kid from my class said that it looked like a German hat, and I have no idea what that even means. But from that day forward, I was known at my school as a German, or a Schwabo, a Schwabeck. And that's just how kids are, you know, Joey Blowy, Louis Screwy. Me, I was Schwabeck, whatever that means. I also felt badass because that was a nickname of a character in a Serbian gangster movie from the 90s that was infamous among kids in my school, even though we had no business watching it when we were like 10. But I guess kids nowadays watch worse things on TikTok, so who cares? Nasara Dean wanted to know why I've chosen this genre of videos, like why do I film technology and in particular older stuff. And to be honest, I've always liked technology, computers, video games. I think it's one of those things that just appeals to younger boys and girls too. I also always loved taking things apart. Of course, as a boy, I would just take crap apart and then not have to worry about putting it all back together, like a broken radio or something. It's like a Lego set, you know, these old electronics, but oftentimes they don't exactly come with instructions on how to take it apart or put it back together, but that's what makes it fun. And yeah, I loved playing with Legos when I was a kid, and even when I grew up, I've also liked just tinkering with things, seeing how they work. And even though I've never had any like proper education in any of this, I've just learned to do a bit of it through practice and just trial and error. And my policy has always been if something is broken, I mean, you're usually not going to break it anymore by trying to give it a go at fixing it. As far as the old stuff goes, like I said, I started getting into old computers and consoles just because of how cheap and unwanted they used to be. You could get a bunch of them for really cheap or free, and it's a ton of fun to mess around and play with. And over the years, I've collected quite a few systems and games, computers, laptops, and other crap. People ask how much stuff do I have, and to be honest, I don't even know. A lot. It's kind of stored away in closets and sheds at the moment. I don't probably even have a percent out on display in my apartment, but I promise to do a tour of my collection when I get ready to move. We'll get all that crap out so you'll be able to see what's in my collection. I'll show you around my apartment before I get out, and we'll just rummage through all my stuff. As far as when that will be, well, probably in the next couple of months. Can't say when exactly, but yeah, I'll be moving to a large house with a dedicated space for all my crap, and I'll make videos on setting everything up, so hopefully that's going to be a fun thing to watch. I have a lot of computers, consoles, and games in my collection, and people want to know what's my favorite thing, and honestly, I don't even know. I have a lot of objectively cool things, I mean, if you're into this kind of crap, but probably the things that I value the most is the stuff that I've managed to keep from my childhood, like my PS2 I had when I was a kid, along with a copy of God of War and freaking Silent Hill 2. Man, I still remember finishing these games and just being in awe for the next 3 months. It was all I ever thought about. I even watched the extra DVDs they came with since it wasn't on the internet yet. Also, my copy of Super Mario 64, and I'm still pissed at my parents for throwing out or getting rid of the original console. I think something was wrong with it and they've gotten rid of it. It was boxed too. I remember it sitting in our basement for a long time. Fortunately, the games were still around. I found my copy of Mario 64 in their basement, and I'm still looking for the second one, which was Yoshi's Story. And I remember seeing it somewhere like 10 years ago, so I'm pretty sure it is somewhere, I just don't know where. People also ask me why do I have so many Apple computers and things, and I've mentioned this before, but my dad is a photographer and he was pretty early to adopt digital photography. So in the late 90s, he got his first digital cameras, and Apple computers were among the first to have FireWire on them, which enabled really fast data transfers from the camera. So he was the one who brought the first computers into our home around 97, 98, I guess, and it was an iBook, and ever since that he always had an Apple computer, and you know how it is, as a kid I just got my dad's old computers, so I've gotten used to them. I did have other Windows computers as well, but throughout my life I had a bunch of like MacBooks and other Mac products. At one point, just as a side hustle, I used to buy broken or cheap Macs, and I would repair them and upgrade them and resell them for a little bit of profit. But the thing is, MacBooks became pretty much impossible to upgrade around 2013, and especially after 2015. You couldn't upgrade the RAM, for example, and so once those older generations of Macs became obsolete, I just stopped reselling them altogether. Peter here wants to know what to look for when buying a secondhand MacBook, and that's a tough one because it all depends on the price. For example, I bought that used M1 Max MacBook with a broken screen, but that didn't matter to me because the price was awesome. So you might be fine with buying a MacBook with a broken keyboard or USB ports or a headphone jack, camera, battery if the price is good, or if those things are not a deal breaker to you, then it might be a good deal. But whatever the case may be, I would strongly recommend buying the laptop if you can just pick it up yourself. That solves so many what ifs. If you can expect the thing yourself, then you won't get scammed by a fake seller or a product. You'll be able to check all those things in person, and there will be far fewer surprises than just buying the thing online and wondering what's going to show up eventually, if anything. As far as battery cycles, again, if you're going to use it like a desktop, like I do with some of my MacBooks, the cycles don't matter at all. Also, depending on how you charge and discharge your battery, it might deteriorate more or less. Like I've seen MacBooks with hundreds of cycles that work just fine, but then I had some with lower cycles that drained super quickly. Also, battery is still something that you could usually buy and replace yourself, so it's not a huge deal breaker in my opinion. Someone asked if I'd buy a whole lot of old Macs and try repairing them. Well, I have a bunch of them already, and I don't really know what to do with a lot of iPhones or Macs. I mean, I guess I could give them to you, but it just doesn't seem like something I'd just run into for cheap. But if I do, I guess I could. Also, under every video, I have people ask me if I could give them a laptop or some other piece of tech. I also get emails asking me to give them something. And yes, I do plan on doing more giveaways. In fact, I've just announced the winner of the previous one like yesterday. But the way I do these giveaways is you apply and then I pick a random winner. That's it. So there's no real point in asking me to give you something because we will have more giveaways, but the winner will be picked at random. I've discussed this and that's the only way I feel comfortable doing these. So, if you keep asking me via email or in the comments, I'm not going to respond, unfortunately. Also, although I do have a lot of computers to give out, most of them are like 20 years old. Some of them are like 10 years old, but still, they're old laptops and they're more for enthusiasts and they're not really suited for like modern productivity. That being said, I did promise to keep my eyes out for good deals on secondhand MacBooks to give out to you, but it all depends on me, finding a good deal, and that could be tomorrow, but it could also take months. So yeah, I can't really say when the next giveaway will be, but I'll try making it into something you guys can look forward to, and I really enjoy sharing things with you, and I'll do my best to give as much as I can. I also love collecting games, and people want to know what's my favorite game and why, but if you ask any gamer that, they'll probably all struggle to answer that. It's like asking a movie freak what's your favorite movie, or a musician what's your favorite song or band. I have many favorites for many systems, and I have a hard time choosing between those. There are also games I don't like playing single player, but I do enjoy them as a multiplayer game, and so many genres and franchises that don't really compare well to each other. But again, sometimes there are games you're attached to subjectively because they were your childhood games or you just love playing them for some reason. So if I was left on a desert island and I had to play just one game, it would probably be like StarCraft and Tetris and SM64. There. One big question people had is, what plans do I have for 2025? What are my goals and what direction will this channel be going? Well, my plans are to keep posting videos 2 times a week, every Monday and Friday, as long as I can, and as long as you keep watching and just see how far we can make it. I really have no idea what to expect as far as views and subs go, but I'll do my best to make interesting content for you guys, and hopefully you'll keep enjoying it. I do have a bunch of ideas on how to improve my videos, and one of the biggest is definitely going to be the move, because I'll finally have a dedicated space where I can film, whereas now I'm just filming and making these videos in a 1-bedroom apartment me and my wife share. So, sometimes we're just in each other's way. And there are a bunch of things I will have in my studio that I just can't have here, like better lighting. I mean, I never thought I'd film in this place. Proper recording microphone, a workbench, storage space. I mean, this place is not well suited for any of that. Also, I plan on learning to be more proficient in some more advanced editing software, and even though I've been experimenting with Final Cut Pro, my intentions are to fully transition to it in 2025. My schedule is also going to change. I've already had to cut back some of my work I do in private, and I'll change it even more to make room for this, because honestly, I just love it. I love making videos, and I'd love to dedicate myself even more to that. There are some more plans, but I'll let you know about those along the way. And there are also some more questions to cover, so I'll just go through them one by one. Chester wants to know what's Christmas like where I'm from, and I'd say it's pretty typical. You have your typical Christmas fairs and Christmas trees and decorations. Yeah, no snow this year, but I can't remember the last time we had a white Christmas. Probably when I was a kid. C. Cubing wants to know what's my favorite food, and man, I love food. I love to eat. It's a miracle I don't weigh like 300 pounds, but I really like Asian and South Asian foods like Indian food, Thai food, Chinese, Japanese. Yeah. Since I work from home, I actually do quite a bit of cooking myself. Programmer wants to know who motivated me to start making YouTube videos, and like I said, I started posting just random things. I didn't set out to create a YouTube channel, but I do watch and follow a lot of similar channels like LGR, 8-Bit Guy, Techmoan, This Does Not Compute, MVG, Summoning Salt, Bismuth, Nostalgia Nerd, AVE back when he actually made videos, and a bunch of other ones, so you can definitely tell that they were a huge influence on me. Pink in the Bra asks, what's your favorite, least favorite Mac? And my favorite one is probably the 2008 MacBook Pro, just because I had one for a long time and because how upgradable, easy to work on, and reliable it seemed to be. And the least favorite is probably the redesigned MacBook from 2015, just because objectively that thing is pretty awful. Nicholas wants to know what I think is the future computer engineering job, and I have no idea, Nicholas. I'm as far from computer engineering as one gets probably, but I hope they go back to engineering things that are repairable and upgradable, like Framework is doing. Thrifty wants to know what's my favorite video I've uploaded and why, and I don't know, objectively it's the M1 Max video because it brought in the most views and subs, but it was such a random video and it was in my view poorly done, like technically, so I don't know, perhaps the Boombox video because it kinda looks like I've envisioned it from the beginning, but it got no views at all, so I don't know. That's the thing. I'd like to do some more content on retro gaming, but people don't really seem to be interested in that, at least my target audience, I guess. When is your birthday? It's 26th of April. How tall are you? Not tall at all, man. I'm like 5'8" or something, 175 centimeters. What's the story on your wall of books? Are they yours? Have you read them all? And yeah, they're all mine. When I was in college, I had a thing for books. I've studied literature and I loved collecting and reading books. I have a lot of them in different languages, Croatian, Russian, English, and so on, and I really wanted to have a place to put them all in, but I didn't really have the money to get like a nice one, so I built this one myself, and it's far from perfect, like most things in this apartment. Ever since finishing college, I haven't honestly read that many books. I just moved to other things and hobbies, but my wife still does read a lot. It would make sense to have something else here, like a big TV or a sofa or something, but I really like how this looks, even though it's not very space efficient. Do you plan on making some YouTube shorts in 2025? Well, I'd like to. I do agree that's a good way of attracting new viewers. I just have to get into it and get the hang of it. Also, a proper way of doing shorts is to shoot it in that stupid portrait mode, which I never do, so they end up looking quite different. But I do agree that is something on the agenda for 2025. So yeah, I guess that about covers all the questions you guys had. Who knows, perhaps we'll do a similar thing next year. I'm curious to see where we end up. Maybe you'll have some more questions then. So now I leave you with this montage the Thrifty Fawn made for me. And I don't even know what I did to deserve it, but she's just been awesome ever since I've started posting, really. You might have seen the video yesterday already, and if you did and you think it's awesome, go to her channel and show her some support. So a big thanks to her, and a big thanks to all of you for making this Christmas truly special and different for me. Enjoy, and I'll see you, well, on Friday. Cheers.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through my place, computers and laptops were taking up space, from iMacs to PCs and MacBooks galore, in hopes that I wouldn't bring home any more. The keyboards were nestled, all neat at their desk, while grateful at least that it wasn't a mess. Guitar with its iRig and $5 Mac had just been unplugged for a long winter's nap, when out in the dumpster arose such a clatter. I sprang from my bed to see what I could gather. Away from the driveway, I flew like a flash to dive in the dumpster and rummage through trash. A discarded laptop, all smashed up to bits. With a glimmer of hope, I knew I should fix, when all of a sudden, I wandered online to see if the marketplace had any finds. An M1 MacBook that wouldn't light up, that I managed to score for $120. With a dampened brush and an alcohol wipe, I cleaned each computer to make them all right. The following week, I continued to look, not expecting to find another MacBook. Then lo and behold, there it was, no longer wanted and no longer loved. A MacBook Pro from 2019, 4 terabytes of storage and a 16-inch screen. From that moment on, I knew it was fate, with all that I needed on hand to create. And one more thing that had to proceed, to gift my old MacBook to someone in need. The giveaway launched, the package was wrapped, with a special card I remembered to attach. As for the rest of the gear at my place, a Christmas special they all would embrace. More rapid than gigahertz, computers they came, and I whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now ThinkPad, now Power Mac, now PC and Netbook, on iMac, on eMac, on Mac Pro and MacBook. To the top of the shelf, to the edge of the wall, now stash away, stash away, stash away all. And now I exclaim as I leave out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.